Hi guys, welcome to a special bonus edition of You Be Trippin. It's the end of year one. What better way to wrap up a great first year than with an award show? Welcome to the 2024 You Be Trippin Awards. That's right. This is the Trippies. Play the music. Now play the music. Play it. For now though, for real. Go. Play the music.
Where you been and where you going? This is Ari's travel show, yeah. We're gonna go on a journey today and see what there's to see in this big world. We're exploring different places, seeing all different types of faces. We're gonna talk about travel today. It's You Be Trippin', You Be Trippin', You Be Trippin', yeah.
Well, what a great year it's been, guys. So let's break it down. First of all, thank you, Pepper Goins, for making the theme music for this podcast. We got to 100,000 subscribers. That's a great first goal. We got it legitimately a day and a half ago. Right at the end. I wanted to get it by January 1st, and we got it. Thank you very much. Great first year. Now there's the next 200,000 to 200,000. Let's do the awards. Great. It's been a great one. I want to first go down the list and explain to you all the great episodes we had. Let's start with number one. Andrew Santino, the Sicilian Islands. Let's go over memories, and then we'll go over the award shows. Here's the awards as I see them. Best Pictures, Worst Trip, Best Guest, Most Surprising, Dumbest Move, Best Sexual Adventure, Best Drugs, Best Meals, Most Adventurous, Biggest Piece of Shit, and Best Trip, and Least Adventurous. It's Luis Gomez. Let's start with the episode one, Sicilian Islands with Andrew Santino. That was a fucking great one. What a great way to get it started. A guy who's a fellow traveler friend of mine. We talk about it all the time. I've been multiple times on Whiskey Ginger. We've connected on this stuff. I'm going and seeing the world and staying in hostels and just like, he's a real like hippie piece of shit. Nobody gives him credit for that because he plays golf and he seems like he's upscale now that he's got money. But he's like a hippie piece of shit. If I don't know if red hair can dread, hey, but if it could, he would have it in a different alternate universe. And he went on his boat trip to the Sicilian Islands. Episode one, it was so good. It just felt like he saw the end of the earth. And that was the first one where I got the idea that at the end of these, sometimes I just sit and sigh with the guest. And that was one. That was a great one. Then Mark Norman in Australia. Good pictures from Mark Norman. Petting the quokkas. One of my biggest regrets in life is not petting those quokkas. Nope. Solid one from Mark Norman. Dan Soder, Iceland. Also great. What a great trip to go see Queens of the Stone Age. Germany, Kevin Ryan. Age restricted on that. I don't know why. But just talking about being there in Hamburg. And we've got to do another one at some point. Maybe a live one about Oktoberfest with some of the guys who have been there. Because there's been a few. That would be a good live episode. And then maybe honestly, my gold standard for this podcast is Joe List in Peru. If you haven't heard that one, go back and listen to it. It's about this epic trip to Machu Picchu where the whole time he's just trying to get his chick back. He's trying to get his ex-girlfriend back. Spoiler alert. He's married to someone else. And along the way, you just sort of get a sense of what it was like on that hike to Machu Picchu. And what it was like in Peru. He got scammed hard. Dumbest Move nominee, Joe List. The USO with David Tell. A so-so one, I'll be honest with you. Kenya with Monroe Martin. Also a super jealousy-inducing one. Being on a safari, seeing those. Good pictures in that one from Monroe. In Nairobi. By the way, neither one of us knew Nairobi was a city and not the country. He might have known, but I definitely did not until the episode came out. And the comments came and said, hey, you know Nairobi's not a country, right? It's Kenya. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. UK with Danny Brown. Great one. Tulum with Corinne Fisher and Christina Hutchison. That was interesting because they went there during like the first week of COVID when it was cleaned out. So they got to experience, it's one of the first ones I do. I have one with Yoshi coming where it's like you get to experience a city that doesn't really exist much. The best one, which I can't get a guess, is Nazi-occupied Paris. It'd be an interesting time. Bangkok with Colin Terrell. He's got to come back. That was great. What a piece of shit Colin Terrell is. Piece of shit of the year nominee. I mean, just getting hookers, skipping out on them, not paying a hooker in Thailand. Dude, it's already third world, and it's not a great job. It's not a great job, and it's already third world, and he's skipping out on that bill. What a piece of shit. Piece of shit nominee, Colin Terrell. India with Duncan Trussell. Possibly trip of the year. I mean, so connected to that place. I can't think of a better place I'd want to go with Duncan than to India, at least on this podcast. God damn. I mean, he's made for that place. The original white Buddhist. Jamaica with Luis Gomez convinced me to stay in villas, maybe. Amsterdam with KFC. Yeah, where Bert Kreischer called him at Feidelberg and said, hey, can you be ready in 24 hours going to Amsterdam? What a fucking fun trip that was. Bert called in. And then me. I was a guest for the first time. In the new studio. No, Danny Brown was the first one not in the studio. Oh, yeah, we should go to that. Andrew Santino, Australia, Iceland, Kevin Ryan, Joe List. David Tell was the first one in the new studio. And then I left it, went back, Kenya in the old one, UK Danny Brown in the YMH studio before we built it up. Bangkok, India Duncan Trussell in front of the green screen. Then me on China in front of the green screen. Yeah, first one that I'm the guest on. Hey, how would you guys have me write up when I'm the guest, when someone else is interviewing me? Because I think people aren't noticing. We got another one coming. January 6th one is me and Paul Morrissey, but it's a me trip. It's two of us together going to Switzerland. And it's going to be a great one because that's the trip that got me started traveling. And we talked about how we made these plans and how we decided, like, let's see the world after this. We got flown to Switzerland for a comedy festival. We stayed for like 3 weeks. We were there for like 5 days. We stayed for 3 weeks. We went to Amsterdam after that. And Paul, anyway, watch that one. Start the year right. That's going to be a great one. Cambodia with William Childress. William is the one who brought me to told me about Myanmar. He was living there. Brought me to Bangkok to play. William rules. Smoking opium at Angkor Wat. Camino de Santiago with Jasmine Shah, where she hiked the fucking 30 days from France to Spain. Brazil with Matt McCusker. Piece of shit of the year possibility. Morocco with Zane Jareski. First remote one. Oh, Matt McCusker was the first one with the studio built up, right? I believe, yeah. The new YMH studio built up. Yeah, Morocco with Zane Jareski. We did it in a hostel in Paris. And man, what a good time. What a crazy trip to Morocco. He's still traveling, Zane. Still out there. Then Ibiza with Sal Vulcano. Last one in the old studio, I think. Is that right? No, it's not. Piece of shit of the year nominee for a Trippy. Just a piece of shit club guy. Dominican Republic with Ian Lara. Solid one. Russia with Daniel Sloss. Interesting. Talking about the gays who can't admit they're gay, but can in private, but not on stage. India with Louis Katz. Follow the same fucking scams that Duncan fell with the shit shoe. Wuxi, China with Simeon Goodson, where he lived in China. Paris, France with Mark Norman. Not as good as his first one. Decent, but not as good. Greece with H. Foley I love because I think that was the first one in the new studio. It was. Built up new studio. Because, listen, he's not a crazy traveler, but he really tackled his fucking fears and went for it. And that's what this is all about. Get your passport. Get out into the world. Have a good time. By the way, my new special is coming January 14th. You can now click on Netflix and go, hey, I want to watch that. Like, remind me. Go find America's Sweetheart on Netflix. Enter it. Do me a favor. Hit remind me. And then the day it airs, January 14th, it'll just tell you, hey, that's that one you saved. And I think the way it works is, like, if a bunch of people watch it once early on, then it tells other people, hey, everyone seems to be watching this right away. And also, let it play all the way through when you press play. when you do, even if you can't watch it all the way through, just let it keep playing. You know what I mean? Like leave and let it play. Fucking dumb algorithm. We're slaves to computers. Then Rob fucking Lowe, Get of the Year. What? Brat Pack? Member of the Brat Pack, Rob Lowe? What? How am I getting that guy? And by the way, so they were like, hey, can you guarantee, because he's got a new show coming out. He wants to promote it. And I was like, sure. They go, can you guarantee that he'll be on next week? And listen, guys, I do these way ahead of time, if you haven't noticed. I've been doing them way ahead of time. By the way, solid move. I mean, I was recording these almost a year out. Not every week, but sometimes. Learning, getting the right ones, getting the right order. If I have two people doing, Australian row, I'm not going to put them out in a row. I'm outside the box. So there's like, can you guarantee? And I'm like, not really. I mean, what if it's bad? If it's bad, I'm not going to put it out. Oh, I buried a few, by the way. Insider knowledge. I buried a few of these that were just like not very good. They were just kind of boring. I don't do resorts anymore, and I'm done with Amsterdam. I did my last Amsterdam, hasn't come out yet, and I'm like, it's all the same story. It's all just the same story, bro. I got too high. Can you believe it? I get it, but like, there's one coming with the Netherlands with Emma Wilmot, which is good, which is not that at all. And like, some lesbo shit going on there. But yeah, Rob Lowe. So they're like, can you guarantee he'll be on this week to promote it? I was like, no. So everyone who asked me, like, can I get on to promote my special? I'm like, dude, I'm like 20 weeks out. Like, no, these are all evergreen. It doesn't really matter when you do them. We don't talk about politics by design. And I was just like, all right, let's just say I will. But man, it was so good. There's something about connecting on travel that when you connect with somebody on it, it's just like, you could talk about anything. And the way he kept saying is like, guys, yeah, I don't travel the way poor people travel. I get not everyone can do this. He was like, dude, I listened to 2 albums in a row once, 2 vinyls in a row. One was Bill Cosby, got it at a fire sale in San Francisco. Like an absolute fire sale, 25 cents each. Some were 10. Just fucking trying to get rid of them. I mean, San Francisco is a very liberal area that hates that Bill Cosby stuff. You know, used to love him as an academic, successful like black, and now they're like, oh, we can't, so we had to get rid of it. So I bought a bunch. Why not just throw them away? I mean, how much do you need to make a profit? Just chuck them. So everyone has morals and still money's involved. And then it all goes out the window. We don't like doing this, but this guy's making us money. You know what I'm talking about. It's not a great example here, but so I listened to that and then a Sam Kinison album in a row. Wildly different takes, wildly different styles. Bill Cosby's great at setting a picture, really putting in your head like what's going on, setting a scene. Slow, long stories. And Kinison's just just out of the gate, just punching so hard. And what was I going to say? Yeah, but one thing I noticed with Kinison that I really liked was that he didn't apologize. Do you know what I mean? I see that a lot in comedy today, and I'm sure I've done it too. I definitely have a bunch of times where I'm like, listen, I'm not saying not everyone's equal. I'm just saying sometimes, they should keep the this or that. I'm not saying women can't do anything, but I'm just saying, blah, blah, blah. Here's the punchline. Here's the shitting on them. Sam didn't even go for it. He was almost like, with an understanding of the crowd, like, I'm joking, but it's also based on my real feelings. So, yeah, I'm just going to say, like, I fucking hate women or whatever. They asked him once why he only does jokes about women and not men also. It's a spliff. And he said, a man has never wanted me to drive my car into a tree. Is recording? It is. Where's the bottom there? Oh, back there. Okay. Anyway, he was never like, oh, I'm so sorry about this. Wait, why did I say that about Sam Kinison? Connecting, no wasting time, Rob Lowe. I don't know. But on the way too, he said, can I smoke a cigar at your studio? I'm like, bro, that's why I cleaned out like a place and made it like a living situation instead of an office. Because yeah, for sure, I want to smoke a cigar. First cigar I smoked. You step back and say, Rob Lowe, I'm not supposed to ever meet that guy. I'm definitely not supposed to connect with him on some level. Oh, that's why. Because he was like, listen, I know not everybody can travel this way. Get a private helicopter, see all of Egypt in 3 days. but I have means, so I did it. Hey, get out of there. No digging. Rob Lowe is a great one. We're about halfway through now. David Cross doing acid in Turkey. Possible piece of shit of the year award. The Trippies. Worst trip, best guess, most surprising, dumbest move, biggest piece of shit. David Cross. Nominee. Okay. What do we got? David Cross. Paris Olympics. Tom Shaw. Not a great one. Everyone was mad. He chewed gum the whole time. I didn't even know. We're just having a conversation. It was interesting, though. But they didn't really let him leave the Olympics. I was hoping he'd be fucking some gymnasts from Russia. But it was cool to have a guy just back from the Olympics right then. I like that. Greg Fitzsimmons, Ireland, possible guest of the year award. Hey, guys, no. Possible guest of the year award. I mean, that was fucking sick. 19-year-old piece of shit Greg Fitzsimmons writing a love letter to some chick. A whole script that he fucking... No, that was Shane. No, that was Greg. A whole script to a lady and handing it to her because he was in love with her. Talking some pasty-faced, orange-haired lady. Oh, maybe best moment of the year was when he showed me that fucking commercial. I like those odds that he wouldn't go bald. Can you believe it? Yeah, that was a great one. I mean, pictures too. Oh, and it just goes to show you could do one from so long ago and it's still really good. Okay, I'm gonna come over here and do the rest of this. Get close to the camera. Keep going. Keep it going though. Oh yeah, I can put this here and read it. Right? Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah. I do this DIY, everybody, because there's no why like DIY. Stupid. We should do best commercials of the year. Why don't you guys vote on that? Leave a comment on YouTube with your vote of the year. I mean, commercial of the year. I had a bunch of ones for Shopify that were pretty fucking good. Put this over here so I can see it. Oh, yeah. Can I read that? Yeah. Almost. Okay, what do we got? Hey, buddy, chill. Greg Fitzsimmons. Sean Patton, Cuba, piece of shit of the year award. Possible worst sexual adventure award. Hookers are always going to be up there. I'm surprised we didn't get more hooker stories. I think people are embarrassed, to be honest. I think they're a bit embarrassed. Sean Patton. Spain with Shane Gillis. Dumbest move, possible award nominee. Overdosing on ham. Possible dumbest traveler move of the year. But also, great trip. Possible trip of the year. Let's nominate him for trip of the year. Best picks, no. Worst trip, best guess, most surprising, dumbest move, best sexual, best drugs, best meal, most adventurous. I'm gonna put him into most adventurous. Shane. Biggest piece of shit, best trip. Yeah, Shane. He'll be in there. God, that was a fucking good one. A fucking pretty much a year abroad. In the best possible time to do it too. Then Joey Diaz talking about coming to America and all that stuff. That was fucking great. I mean, obviously I had to try to find Joey Diaz a way in. And he was a ski bum? I've known that guy for 25 years. How did I never connect on that? He's been with me through multiple broken bones from skiing and never mentioned not only that he has skied before, but that he was addicted. What? Big J. Okerson, very interesting trip. Possible worst trip award. Going to South Africa in the days before cell phones when his chick found out that he had been cheating on her and then immediately had to leave and go to South Africa around the world. I mean, oh, Big J, that was such a fucking good one. And it kind of goes to show you that it's kind of what this podcast is all about is, maybe I'll stand here and get zoom it out a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay. Yeah, that's got to be good, right? Let's see. Should be good. Yeah, it's not about exactly like what there is to do in these places. It's not what it is. Obviously, you're going to get some of that. The Joe List Machu Picchu thing is a lot of instruction, not on purpose, about how to do Machu Picchu, which route to take, all that stuff. But one thing I got to get better at is bleeping out names of like specific hikes, specific trips. I don't want to ruin any of these places, and I don't have any part in it. I know people are like, well, who cares? It's only a few people. It's getting it started. It's like you don't litter in Joshua Tree. You don't throw your. It's like, who cares? It's such a massive park. Who's going to see it? It's just like you don't do that. Find your own place. It's fine. Those guys did. Go to Lonely Planet. Find the tourist ones. But you want to be able to protect the place that no one knows about. That's how I feel. So I got to do a better job. Like, not things like Eiffel Tower or the Louvre, but like little small towns to stay in. I mean, Anthony Bourdain knew this. When he was talking to that chick who killed him, and she was like, oh, let me name the restaurant. He goes, no, don't. What do you want, a line of American tourists around the block? And here, this is a classic Italian place. It's not in need of money. You go to a high-level nightclub. Oh, bleep that. In Germany, they don't want tourists there. They're packed. They turn tourists away. They don't want them there. They're fucking up the line, to be honest. 22:10. Let me make a note of that. Okay. So anyway, it's about what people do this. So you're going to get some tips on Machu Picchu from Joe List. Naturally. You're going to get some tips from people just like they say, like, I did this and this. It's like, oh, cool. I want to do those things too. But also, it's just about their experience. So it's not what to see in Ireland. It's just where Fitzsimmons happened to stop. I'm sure I'll do one on the Great Ocean Road that I did in Australia. I just stopped at places. It wasn't like what you're supposed to do. It's just like, this is what I did. You want to go, buddy? No. Okay. Stay with me. So Jay, it's like, wait, we barely got to know any of South Africa, but we got to know what he did, and what a fun and weird trip to South Africa. Because also, everyone's trip to different places is going to be different. I told you, my Paris is taking a writing class. Norman's was all romantic. Sam Talent coming soon. Fun, seeing sights. Tommy Tierney. Oh no. God, what a good run. Greg Fitzsimmons, Sean Patton. These are all great ones. Greg Fitzsimmons, Sean Patton, Shane Gillis, Spain, Joey Diaz, America, Big J. Oakes, South Africa, Stavros Halkias, Greece. Oh, learning how to become a man in Greece. Harlan Williams, Trip of the Year nominee for sure. Around the world. I was like, dude, I only do one country usually. And he goes, I think I had a different idea. And I was like, well, you just kind of center on one. You know what, bro? You know what you're doing. You're great. Go ahead. Fine. If that's what you want to do, we can do that. And told me about this trip around the world that he got on a National Geographic for $30,000 on a 30-day trip to, there was like 15 countries. Oh my God. What a trip. And every time you think Harlan zigs and zags, I mean, he zags. And when I thought I knew he was going jokey, to go serious with a poem. I mean, that was the moment of the year. I mean, let's call it that. There's probably a couple moment of the year nominees. Fitzsimmons showing me the ad for his hair loss, and Harlan with that poem at the end. Yeah, he came in. He was looking at the map, and I was like, "You been in any of these places? Because the map draws you in." And he goes, "Yeah, all of them." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Pretty much everywhere, dude. I love going places." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, he's got to come back." Rolf Potts, Syria. The fucking list goes on. Rolf Potts doing a backpacking trip when he was a fucking young lad in Syria, staying in a monastery. Best meal nominee for sure. Him up there in a monastery in Syria eating free food in the mountains. Yeah, what a trip. I mean, Rolf, obviously, massive influence on me. I'll have him back 1,000 times. If you haven't never checked out his podcast, I've been on there like 4 or 5 times. Deviate with Rolf Potts. And obviously read his book that I reference all the time, Vagabonding and the Vagabond's Way. I told you this a bunch of times. I read Vagabonding when I was on an island in Cambodia. on Cambodia, on an island in Cambodia. Finally settled into like, I'm not going to do anything. Just get a mixed drink, get some loklok. They make it with fries instead of rice. Weird. Yeah, and I was like, I read his book. I was carrying around for 2 countries. All through Myanmar. Did I go to Cambodia next? No, Thailand next. Didn't read it. Then Cambo. Fuck, I gotta know what that trip was. It might have been Indonesia first. Who knows? No, Indonesia had to be last. Anyway, read his book. Whatever. Old Skeptic, thanks. Go check those out too. Rolf Potts, Somalia with Tommy Tiernan, saddest trip, maybe possible worst trip of the year award. Just seeing poverty in Somalia. Great guy. Great guy. Great comic. I mean, maybe Ireland's greatest comic of all time. Him or Colin Tyrrell. We've had 2 Irish-born comedians on this podcast. How many Canadians have we had? 1. The next one, Russell Peters, getting into fights in Lebanon. And Toby McMullen, Scotland, or the first one we did in the new studio, actually. The first one I recorded, but the last one out, or one of the last ones out. Him as in the skateboard world out there. Portugal with Adrian Appalucci. One of the worst ones we did. She really didn't do shit in Portugal. All she did was say how, I don't know, seemed cool, people seem weird. I mean, she went outside, but I don't think she's so standoffish. Who would talk to her? Dan St. Germain, back to Ireland. That was a great one. Mike Cannon in Bali was fucking sick. What a dork he is. That was a really good one. I really liked that one. I knew that was going to be a strong one. I don't think many people watched it, but that was a really good one. Shitting naked, just having an emotional connection to a new place. Southeast Asia will do that. And then the Wonton Don, finally got him on for Laos. God, he's got to come back. What a real traveler that guy is. And what a weirdo. What a fucking possible drug piece of shit of the year award or drugs of the year award. David Cross doing acid in Turkey with Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Was it Meow Meow? No, Ya, something like that, in Laos. And then Afghanistan, Saddam Hosseini. Kind of serious, but interesting. He wants to bring me out there. I want to go. And then the last one. No, sorry. I'm missing one. Possible Trip of the Year award. Me and Bobby Kelly in Cuba, from Cuba. The second remote one I've done. First one was in a hostel in Paris about Morocco. This one was the first one on location. Me and Bobby Kelly in Cuba from our trip in Havana. We did it on the last day. Had a hurricane. Also, Pictures of the Year award nominee for sure. Then Europe with Ronnie Chang. And then that's it. And then this. Congratulations to us, everybody. 100,000 subscribers. I will be better about the Patreon. Colin's going to come in and help me with some. Maybe Sagalo also. So I can fucking bounce off. Be more fun. I owe you some for sure. We're still going to send someone around the world for a year. So now, let's get to the Trippies. Okay. Best picks. Mark Norman on Australia. Dude, those are great ones. Him with the Quokka was fucking great. Him with the Quokka was great. Him just all over was great. Yeah, he had some really good ones there. Seeing all the birds. Bobby Kelly from this last trip to Cuba. I mean, it's partially me having pictures, partially him. But, I mean, they were just laced in. If you guys haven't seen that one, it was two ago. Also, go see Bobby Kelly's special, Killbox. I finally convinced him to get it uploaded onto YouTube. Killbox, directed by Louis C.K. But it was just woven into the whole thing. We had a fucking blast for 6 days. And it wasn't even like, some of these are going to be like fresh right when they get back, like Norman's Australia trip. And then some of them are going to be like way, way later. We're never going to get as fresh as, hey, we're still there. God, that was a good one. Me dancing with that lady at the fucking Buena Vista Social Club. I mean, dipping her. It was such a fucking fun trip, bro. It was such a fun trip. When I got back, I was like, I don't want to be. I called Bobby. I was like, dude, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. I like it now again. Best picks, beat Bobby Kelly. Harlan Williams from his trip around the world. God damn, those are great pictures. Him petting a baby rhino. Him getting the picture of that guy picking his nose. One of the best pictures possible. The pick of the year nominee. Bobby Kelly's Me Dancing with That Girl, also pick of the year nominee, even though it's a video. Monroe Martin on the Serengeti or whatever the fuck it is. Pick of the year nominee. Just makes you jealous just looking at it. Sunrise or sunset in Safari. Whew. Sal Vulcano, all of his pictures from Ibiza with him as a fucking club kid. What a human piece of shit that Sal Vulcano is. I mean, what a legitimate garbage piece of shit he is. And no one gives him credit for being such a fucking piece of shit. And then Jane Jareski from all these pictures from Morocco. I mean, making bread, tilling the soil, getting dressed up for Eid, something like that. Okay, let's name him afterwards. Worst trip. Zane Jareski. Almost getting married off in Morocco. Great trip, but terrible trip. Tommy Tiernan going to Somalia to see literally suffering and poverty. One of the worst trips I can imagine going on. But Big J, I already told you, going to South Africa in the midst of being in the craziest doghouse possible with his chick and having to like get minutes to call her to get yelled at every day. Ho, ho, ho. I think that's it for worst trips. Yeah. Lewis, yeah, KFC. Yeah, I think that's worst trips. I mean, Tom Schaar won a silver medal at his trip. That's pretty cool. Best guest, Harlan Williams. I mean, funny, interesting the whole way. Shane Gillis, obviously always hilarious. Generational fucking charisma. In a fat, hey, in a disgusting body. Everything he's gotten has been, you could not imagine by looking at his face. That's how talented he is. Half-tart. Successful. But great fucking trip. And jealousy-inducing. Duncan Trussell I mean, he's so good at describing all that emotional stuff. Because everyone else has these emotional moments on trips and they don't know how to like say it. But Duncan gets right to it. And just like puts you there. Matt McCusker in Brazil. Just funny and just also what a piece of shit. Santino talking about those Sicilian islands. Goddamn. Joe List. Oof. So funny about that trip to Machu Picchu. And just like talking about shitting on himself the whole time, just down on his luck while he's at Machu Picchu. Rolf Potts in Syria, all finding out about their way into the NBA and stuff there. Colin Tyrrell about Bangkok and Wantan Don about Laos. Whew, those are all great guests. Most surprising, Harlan. I put Shane, but I kind of knew I knew about this trip from Shane always. And so even when I was like thinking of starting this podcast, I was like, no, I'll get Shane on to do that. That's an interesting trip for sure. So I guess I'll take that off most surprising. Sal with Ibiza, one of the most surprising ones. I'm taking Shane off. Sal, and then maybe Zane Jareski. Yeah, maybe Zane, because you guys were, you don't know him, and you're like, this won't be crazy. It was so good. One of the greatest trips I could ever hear about. I'll do Zane. Dumbest moves. Okay, we got a few. Shane overdosing on jamon till his tongue dried up. Duncan Trussell getting shit sprayed in his shoe and falling into the scam to have him clean it up. Louis Katz in India, also in India, just like Duncan Trussell, getting shit sprayed in his shoe and having to pay to clean it up. Me for paying $140 Canadian for a 10-pack of clear, I mean, not even like I'm suspecting they're fake. I mean, like, yeah, we all know they're fake. And still somehow getting roped in to Joe Boo's master, servant, just to get out of there. As Bobby Kelly did nothing to help me. Dumbest move, I'll admit it. And then Joe List changing money in Peru, falling for a scam that he has no idea. Best sexual adventure, Sean Patton, hooker. Matt McCusker, hooker. Joe List trying to get laid by a girl in a tent while she has violent diarrhea. And then Shane Gillis not trying with that chick and with that teacher that he had a crush on, and Greg Fitzsimmons giving away his script to a woman he had a crush on in Ireland in 19. He'll never get that back. Best drugs. Wonton Don, obviously. Zane Jareski. Oh, yeah, doing all that hash and stuff in Morocco. Just at the fucking, goddamn. David Cross. Acid in Turkey. Dude, adventurous guy. He's got to come back. And William Childress. Smoking opium at the fucking whatever. Oh, what a great podcast we've done. Best meal. Shane Gillis, again, with his hormone overdose. Rolf Potts and the Syrian mountaintops. We had some good meals, though. We had some good meals. Hold on. Soder on Iceland. We had a good one. We talked about that. Duncan was talking about the Indian food. I think maybe I have not had that many great food stuff. Or Norman Paris. Yeah, little food. All right. Guess not. Shane Great. Okay. We should start naming these. Okay. The Trippies. Best pictures. Norman, Robert Kelly, Harlan Williams, Monroe Martin, Sal, Zane. Let's eliminate Monroe Martin. He had one great one, but Sal, piece of shit. Honestly, he had more pictures he wouldn't let me show you guys. He was like embarrassed about how he looked back then, which is like, I guess, more of a piece of shit than now. He looked older then, to be honest. Take Norman out. So it's Robert Kelly, Harlan Williams, Zane Jareski. That's a tough one. They were all pretty great. I think it might be overall best picks was the Robert Kelly Ari Shaffir episode of Cuba. It could be Harlan Williams. It could be Zane, but I know you guys know him, but those were great pictures. Worst trip, Zane, Tommy Tiernan, Big J. I'm going Big J because Tommy Tiernan at least was there feeling like he's doing something. Jay's just hell. It was just hell. Worst trip. Hold on. It's Big J Okerson. Congratulations, Big J. You've just won 2024's first Trippy Award for worst trip. Best guess. Harlan Williams, Shane, Duncan, Matt McCusker, Santino, Joe List, Rolf Potts, Colin Terrell, or Wonton Don. It's Harlan. It's List. It's Harlan or List. Or Duncan. Harlan, List, Duncan. Damn. That's a tough one. I'm going to get back to that. Harlan. Joe List. Duncan. Most surprising, Harlan, Zane Jareski, or Sal? I mean Harlan Williams. It's Harlan Williams. Most surprising, like just trip in general. He's such a traveler. One, that's a huge surprise. And two, this trip was fucking, I didn't even know it existed. And also, you're telling me you're not going to pick a country and it's still going to be good? That was the issue with Rob Lowe. He was like, we should have just stayed in Egypt the whole time. Or any of them was like, I went through Europe or I went to whatever. It's like, we should just stay in one place. But he didn't stay in one place, and it was amazing. Most surprising, Harlan Williams. Congratulations. You've just won your first Trippy Award. Dumbest move. Shane's overdose on Hamon. Duncan's shit shoe. Louis Katz's shit shoe. I don't think I can give either one of them because it's such a dumb move, but both of them fell for it. So how dumb could it be? I lost 140 Canadian dollars for fake cigars. By the way, I smoked half of them. The other half got confiscated at the airport. If I didn't have those, I could have gotten away with the other ones. More likely to have gotten away. Joe List changing money. I'll say Shane's Hamon, maybe. Damn. Shane's Hamon with the dumbest move? Nah. I mean, $140. And I'm supposed to be a traveler. It's me. Joe List changing money. Shane's Hamon. I mean, I got bullied into it. I'm going to give it to Shane. Nah. All right, let's get back to that one. Best sexual adventure. Sean Patton, hooker in Cuba. Matt McCusker, hooker in Brazil. Joe List, diarrhea tent. Shane Gillis, too scared to act. Greg Fitzsimmons, too scared to act. I'm going to give it to Joe List. Best sexual adventure. Trying to get laid while a woman has crazy Montezuma's Revenge diarrhea in a tent on a hike to Machu Picchu. Joe List, congratulations on your first Trippy Award. Best drugs, Wonton Don. I mean, he fucking goes for it. Zane, David Cross, and Childress. I'm giving that to Wonton Don. Best drugs, congratulations, Wonton Don, for a 2024 Trippy Award. Joel B. Best meals. Shane Gillis, Hamon, Rolf Potts. Oh, that in the Syrian Temple Mount. Yeah, I would say it's not about the taste of the meal. Because, I mean, me and Bobby Kelly went to Noma one time. We didn't do that as a podcast yet, but it's top restaurant in the world. Not by my standards. Like 4 out of 6 years, 3 out of 4 years, something like that. The year we went, it was also best meal, right? But that's not what this podcast is about. It's Rolf Potts. Rolf Potts, congratulations on your meal in the mountaintops in Syria as the best meal of the year. 2024 Trippy Awards. Congratulations, Rolf. You finally accomplished something with your life. Most adventurous. Okay, I'm going to go H. Foley just because he doesn't do that. And him on a doom buggy. It's like, it's not about how crazy you've gotten. It's about how crazy you've gotten compared to you. This is what I'm saying also for when we tell people to turn it up drinking-wise. You shouldn't tell people to do shots. I'm talking to you, Joe DeRosa. You shouldn't tell people to do shots. What you should tell them is, hey, can you turn this up 10%? Because some people have a lower tolerance. By the way, Joe, also, every time you do a shot, you leave within 30 minutes. H. Foley fucking got loose for himself. That picture of him in the doom buggy is like, that's what it's all about. Rolf Potts going to fucking volunteer on a mountaintop. See, that's so adventurous. Tommy Tiernan for going to Somalia. KFC for getting on a plane last minute at Bert Kreischer's request and going off to Amsterdam to have a time of your life. That could be it. Zane Jureski going to Morocco. Mike Cannon somehow getting to Simeon Goodson for living in Wuxi, China for like 2 years. Ari Shaffir for going to China at all. I mean, I was frightened as shit, you guys. But I still went. Bobby Kelly for going to Cuba. And Shane Gillis for going, and maybe Duncan too. And maybe McCusker too. I know what I'm going to do. I'm giving it to Zane Jureski. Most adventurous. I mean, Morocco, and also living in everything, almost getting married off to somebody and having to worm your way out of it. That was a crazy trip. That was so fucking out there to go do that. Biggest piece of shit. Sean Patton, Colin Tyrrell, Matt McCusker, Sal Volcano, or David Cross. Well, I mean, you got to narrow that down to Colin Tyrrell skipping out on a hookers tab. Or Sal Volcano. Sal, it's you, buddy, because you expect this kind of behavior from an Irishman, but you're a hardworking Cuban immigrant. To have that kind of piece of shit Italian behavior, I mean, you can take the man out of Staten Island, but you can't take the Staten Island out of the man. Sal Vulcano, you've won a 2024 You Be Trippin award for biggest piece of shit. Congratulations, Sal. You've now done something with your life. Biggest piece of shit, Sal Vulcano. Nice. What do we got? Best trip and least adventurous. Least adventurous, I already gave it to Luis Gomez. What also have I not done? I mean, we got to have a best trip, right? Best trip and best guest. What are we down to? Dumbest move. Let's go with... I don't know yet. I should have done this before. Best guest. Harland, Duncan, or Joe List. I mean, it's Harland. Damn, Joe List is also right there. And Duncan is really good too. I mean, Joe List had such a fucking thing, but Harlan was so prepared. I mean, he had just pictures and the National Geographic magazine from fucking 30 years ago. Okay, I've decided. The 2024 You Be Trippin award for best guest goes to Harlan Williams. Dude, that was such a good episode. So fun as a fucking conversation, too. I mean, talk about jealousy for something. It's Harlan. Duncan, that was also great. Joe List, gold standard of what I expect from people if they're like, what's the show? Can I listen to an episode? Listen to the Joe List episode. Best pictures. Sal Volcano, Harlan Williams. Harlan's pictures were great. I'm going to go to Bobby Kelly. Bobby Kelly, you've got best pictures awards. And then dumbest move. I mean, Shane Gillis was a dumb fuck. I mean, could you keep eating that much ham? That's just on you, kind of. I mean, that's just kind of on you. The rest just fell for something. So I got bullied into it, to be honest. So it wasn't I was like, I got out of there without getting robbed. Someone's like, just give him some money, let's get out of here. It was actually kind of a smart move. Duncan and Lewis, that's not, what are they going to, first of all, once you get shit on your shoe, you do need someone to wipe it off. So what do they really fall for? Joe List changing money, but it worked out for you. It's Shane. You might have taken a year off your life. Eating that much ham, having your tongue dry up. Now you can drink so much Bud Light, it never gets through to you because your tongue is so withered from an overdose of jamon. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I worked for a time, I was temping at the Beverly Hills Chamber of Commerce. We had to give out our awards every year. And this is sometimes the restaurant department got 1 year, and then hotels got 1 year, automotive got 1 year. And they gave it to Jay Leno as guest of the year. And why? Because they said he has so many cars. And I was like, does he live in Beverly Hills? And they go, no. I'm like, oh, but do you work in Beverly Hills? They go, no. And I'm like, then why give him an award? They're like, so we can sell tickets. Shane Gillis, you've just won a 2024 Trippy of the Year award for overdosing on sweet Spanish ham. Congratulations, Shane. You've now done something with yourself. Okay, so that's it. We're down to the last one. Guys, don't forget, I have a tour coming. I should have mentioned this earlier. Pittsburgh. It's the farewell tour. I'm only touring a little bit, and then I'm going off and seeing a little world myself. Maybe this place. Probably not this place. But we will have an episode about Japan coming from, hopefully, Che Dorena, or also from Dragos that we did in Romania. Maybe that one first. Should I read you who's coming? So anyway, Pittsburgh, Providence already sold out. Pittsburgh's almost sold out, December 3rd, 4th, 5th. Adrian Appalucci's opening for me, that and Providence. I think we added a late show Wednesday in Providence, whatever. Let's just run them down. San Jose, San Antonio, Tampa, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, San Antonio, with a special surprise guest. I will be doing 2 screenings of my special. Just January 7th at the Stand in New York City. please come on out. Tickets are like $20. I'll be playing it ahead of time. My special's coming out January 14th. I'm playing it for you guys early, and then I'll be there afterwards to do some new jokes, and then also like, man, maybe take some questions or something. I don't know. Come on out if you want. 7 p.m. at the Stand on the 7th, and in Austin, Texas on January 12th at the Creek and the Cave. Come on out. Also, if you're a comic in town, not an open micer, you can come out and watch it, and let's have a little party too. It'll be a fun screening. Both those tickets are up on my website. And then Atlanta, Portland, both with Adrian. Second show added in Portland. This is in March now. And then in April, we got Vancouver, Seattle, Edmonton, Calgary. Shows added in Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver. And then, I don't know. I think that's it. San Jose, whatever, guys. There's a few more. Tampa, Denver. Oh, Denver. Best of week. Whew. Get tickets for everything right now at arishafir.com. And now, for the Best Trip Award. Should I tell you who's coming later? Guys, next year's going to be great. You should subscribe if you haven't already. We just got to 100,000, but like, you should subscribe. Paul Morrissey's going to be the first one, and that's that trip I told you that we both fucking went great together. That's going to be a great one. Yeah, restore pages. Crashes like all the time. I said, yes, restore pages. Oh, you motherfuck. Bookmarks. Listen to all these people we have coming. Oh, it's going to be so fucking good. Episode's coming. Okay, here we go. Ari Maddie in Canada. Me about Thailand with Toby McMullen interviewing me. Me again with Ethan McKenzie talking about both of our trip together to Guatemala. Brett Ernst about Melbourne. Byron Bowers on Israel. Carmen Lynch. That's a good one. I'm at Peru with a certain all-knowing drug. Dan Soder in Stockholm. Danny Polishuk in Laos. That was a great one. Des Bishop, China. Dragos, Japan. Earl Burney, New Zealand. Emma Willman, Netherlands. Really good one. Fahim is coming. Jeffrey Osmus, Israel. An Afghanistan one. Spain, China, Denmark. Oh, Ian Sterling. That's right. Hamilton Morris. Oh, dude, I got some great ones. Carnival. And then just Paul Verzi, Ronnie we did, Punky Johnson, Tucker. Okay, I got Bert is going to be coming on January 14th, the day of my special. So Paul Morrissey, day one. Bert, day of my special. Did I do the final award? No, I got to do it now. Bert, day of my special. Tucker Carlson the week after on January 20th about UAE. Bert will be, he said, well, I don't know. We'll see where he takes us, but he's going to want to do Russia. But like, fuck that. I mean, he's been other places. He's going to want to do Russia. Jim Gaffigan, Portugal, I think. Anyway, guys, it's going to be a great second season. As always, request in the people. I've been talking to some people that are like, yeah, maybe high-level musicians and stuff that seems so cool. Also travelers. If you know they've been somewhere, suggest it in the comments. I read those, and it's somebody I know or have heard of or look up. I'm like, no, they seem cool. They seem like they've been places. I've reached out. We've started to get it going. I don't know who's been places. If you know, let me know. Michael Malice. That's right, on North Korea. Oh, maybe I'll do that one maybe the first one in February. I'll do that. Okay, now let's get to the final one. And then let's fucking leave this, right? I don't think I have anything else to say. The final award, Best Trip. Zane Jareski, Rolf Potts, Harlan Williams. I mean, my China trip was great. I don't think I did a perfect job of describing it. Cuba, though, dude. Zane Jareski, Rolf Potts, Harlan Williams, Joe List, Jasmine Shaw, the Camino de Santiago, Monroe Martin, Duncan Trussell. Ooh, that was a great one. Shane Gillis, Matt McCusker, Greg Fitzsimmons, and Stavros Halkias. Lisa Ventures, Luis Gomez, staying in a villa in what's it called? Jamaica. Still a fun trip, though. Best trip. Zane Jareski, possibly. Rolf Potts, possibly. Harlan Williams, possibly. Joe List. I don't think it was the best trip. Jasmine Shaw, I'm jealous of that one. Monroe Martin. Duncan, I'd say Duncan, Shane, McCusker in Brazil, Fitzsimmons, Stavros. Oof. Best trip. I guess, guys, this has never happened before in a Trippy. Stavs was very interesting. Greg's seems amazing. McCusker will take off. Duncan's was great. Monroe's I'll take off. Jasmine I'll take off. Rolf I'll take off. Saints was amazing. So was Harlan. So was Shane. I mean, Shane just chilling there with everybody for a year. I mean, that's so cool. It's so fucking cool. Guys, for the first time in You Be Trippin Awards history, we have a 2-time award winner. Best trip was around the world. Harlan Williams, congratulations on winning your second Trippy Awards. We got to have you back next year. Well, guys, that's been pretty fucking dumb. Thank you for a great year, for real. 100,000 subscribers is fucking cool. I've had a ton of fun doing this. I was worried when I stopped my other podcast, knowing I wanted to do this. I wanted to overlap them, but whatever. I was worried. And then I've had so much fun. They're great to do. The ones I've had to bury, I've just buried. I've got so many left to give you guys, and I have so many still that are coming. The guys have to come back. We still never got Tom Rhodes on. That's crazy. He's got to come back a bunch of times. Harlan's coming back. Maybe Rob Lowe. I mean, so many people. Some people still to come that it's like, oh, it's about to. DeRosa's got to come on. Oh, anyway. Guys, yeah, it's been fucking great. I don't know. You having a good time? I'm gonna put stuff on my merch also. Passport holder. That leather maker, whoever that was. Did somebody ask me about building a camping bag from the ground up? I've been looking for it as a comment or as a message on either Instagram or like a comment on the YouTube, and I can't find it. And I want to do it. I want to build one like me and Rolf talked about from the ground up, design it, and make it exactly to my specs. There's a few things I just want, but I don't need any money off it. I just want to build it. One is a grinder that's also a funnel. So you funnel it. You know, so it doesn't get everywhere. So you got to put it in your hand, and then it's like, come on. Just make it. I just want a free one. The Billy Strings, Danny Brown collaboration. I don't want anything from that. I just want to listen to it while I'm skiing. Anyway, guys, it's been a fucking great year. Next year's going to be even better. We're going to go to more locations. More remote spots. All right, buddy, chill out. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, until next year. So this is what we got. Me and Paul Morrissey, week 1. Bert Kreischer, week 2. Tucker Carlson, week 3. Jim Gaffigan, week 4. It's going to be a great one. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you next year. That's been the Trippy Awards. Let's do this every year for real. And like towards the end of the year. And if you how about this? I'm open to suggestions. But if you have like a comment that's like, oh, this nominee for best guest, nominee for worst drug. I was like, oh yeah, right, good point. And then I don't know, Heather or one of you guys let's like get them all. Let's have a fun award show. If it gets good, I'll like get a piece of hardware and do it and send it to people. I won't put it up, but all right. Bye everybody. Thank you. Till next year.